During this tutorial I'm going to run through the May-June 2010 paper, paper 2, and the word task on that paper. So I've already loaded the file. The first question, set the page size to A4, page orientation to portrait, and the top and bottom left and right margins to 2 centimeters. So I'll do the first 3. So I already have the document open. The page size to A4, click on the page layout ribbon, then size, then select A4, and the page orientation, click the orientation and select portrait. Now for the margins, if we go to page setup and change the top here to 2, left to 2, bottom to 2, right to 2 centimeters, and then click OK. And then the next question, question number 9. Save the document with a new file name to your work area. Set all the text to a sans serif font. Select all the text to be single line spacing. So to save the document, simply go to File, go to Save As, and then call the file a different name in your work area. Set all the text to a sans serif font. So a sans serif font is any font without the extremities, without the tails. Sans here means without. Serif refers to the extremities or tails of a font. So a sans serif font is any font without the tails on the letter. A serif font will have these tails on. So a sans serif font, Arial, a serif font would be something like Times New Roman. So to do that, I'm going to press Ctrl A on my keyboard to select all. I'm then going to set the font to Arial. One done. The next question says set all the line spacing to single line spacing. After that it says set the alignment of the text to be fully justified, and then set the font size to be 10 points. So first thing I'm going to do is do the line spacing. So again, if I click on paragraph and then spacing, it says in the question to do it to single line spacing. If I leave this at 0 point, 0 point, and from the line spacing here, click single and then click OK. Now I have single line spacing. Fully justify. Justify means to justify to the left, to the right. Fully justify means to stretch it where possible across the page. And then set the size to 10. So I just select 10 from here. Question 14. Place in the header your candidate name, center number, left align, and an automated file name, right align. So if I go to insert, and then header, I'm going to click on this one just to make it easier for me to align the text. I've got one on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. And then on the left I need to put my number and my center number. And then I don't think I need anything in the middle, so I'll delete this one. Then on the right I need automated file name. So to do that, if I, again in the design ribbon here, if I go to quick parts, field, and then from the drop down list here, file name, select my style. I'm just going to start with the first letter capital. If the question tells you to add the path to the file name, i.e. the location that the file is saved at, then click this option. For this question it doesn't, so I'm going to leave that unticked. Then click OK. That just puts the file name there. The next question tells me to put the date in the footer. So I'm going to go to the footer, click in the footer, and that needs to be left aligned. So I'm going to go to footer here. Again, I'm going to choose from the list, and on this one, if I just click on date and time, I can select my date and which format I want there. And then I'm going to delete the one in the middle, and then if you click page number and current position, then I'm just going to use a plain number. So plain number. And then click back on the text. Okay, the next question says, this is question number 16. Make sure there is a blank line 10 points high after each paragraph and the line spacing is consistent. Now, I'm going to highlight all of the text, so Control A, then if I click the down arrow on paragraph, and then I'm going to select 10 points here, 10, and then OK. Now this doesn't always work. In fact, it's spaced the bullet points. I don't want them spaced, but it has put a line 10 points in between. I'm going to select these bullet points and just take the spacing away from them. So paragraph, and take them back to 0. Okay. The other way you could do it is simply to press enter and then ensure that line is 10 points from the font size there. Okay, next question. Insert a blank line at the start of the document and enter the heading Power Kite Sports. So, to the start of the document, a blank line, heading Power Kite Sports. Make the heading center align, click on the heading, center align. Next question, make the font size of the heading 26 point. So from here, 26. And then a subheading on the line below should say drafted by, and then followed by your name. Set both the subheading and the heading to a serif font. So I'm going to use Times New Roman, and set the font size of the subheading to 14. So highlight and 14. Underline the heading. So underline. Make sure the subheading is italic. Highlight subheading and select italic. Make the subheading right aligned, so right aligned. I have too many spaces there, so delete one of them. After the subheading, format the rest of the document to be 2 equally spaced columns with a 1 centimeter gap. So if I click just after my name in the subheading there, and then if I go to page layout, and then columns, more columns, and then 2 columns. The spacing between the 2 columns, I want 1 centimeter to put that in the spacing, and then where it says apply to, I need to apply from this point forward. So after my name there, the rest of the document should be 2 columns with 1 centimeter gap in between. And that's kind of worked. However, it's dropped my paragraph down here. So what I need to do there, for a start, I need to go back into paragraph, make sure that is a 0 on the spacing, and OK. If possible, delete this line here. After my name, I still need a line 10.6, so I'm just going to press enter. That's actually put 2 in, so what I'm going to do is highlight both lines, go to paragraph, and make this 0. And then the line I've just put in, I'm going to make that 10 points there. Okay. Next question. It is important that you focus on the details there. You can lose marks for simple things. So, the next question. Delete the text, a brief history of kites. After the paragraph, kites have been objects of interest. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to find, and I'm just going to type in a brief history. There we go, now I know where it is. So, the text, a brief history of kites, and the paragraph that follows. All the way down to born with. So highlight that and simply press delete. And the next question, change the list of basic safety rules to be bulleted. Make sure the bullets do not have any blank spaces between them. I've already done that. Start from do not attempt to, finish at never fly kites from a fixed point. So this is my bulleted list. Do not attempt to, and then select the bullets from the home and the paragraph option, and that is fine. Now I need a 10-point line space between the title of the bullet points and the bullet point. So again, I'm just going to put 10 in the space in there. Okay, next question. Insert a table with 3 columns and 6 rows after the text. Here are some courses you might want to take. If you go to Insert, Table, then select 3 rows by 6 columns, and then you need to type in the information. I actually already have one done, so I'm going to just copy and paste. So once all your information is in, just check that your table is the same size as the column. You can go into right click at the top there and go to auto fit, fixed column width, or auto fit to content. And then the next question says that you need to format the top 2 rows, so these 2 rows, to be centered and underlined. So centered and underlined. The next question, question 31, says also to apply a shading to the top 2 rows to ensure they are 20 to 40%. So if I go to the design and then go to the borders and shading, I could also right click and go to borders and shading. Then in the shading option, if I click on 25% is fine, and then click OK. The next question says to merge the top 2 rows of the table. So I need to highlight the top rows here and then right click and then merge cells. The next question says set only the outside borders of the table to be a thick black line. If I right click on the table and go to borders and shading and then select borders, if I choose the grid option and then choose 3 points thick and then click OK, that puts a border 3 points thick around the table but keeps the rest half a point thick. Next, question 34, place the image at the top right hand side of the page. So I'm just going to click here and then I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, and select the J10 board image and click Insert. And then if I click on the image and go to Format, then Position, and select to put that at the right. I'm going to move that down slightly to the correct place. And then the next question says to resize the image to 5 centimeters high and to maintain the aspect ratio. So if I click in the Format ribbon, the down arrow on the size option, and then make sure the lock aspect ratio is clicked or ticked, and then change this to 5 centimeters. Just going to readjust that image, and that is the word question on the 2010 paper complete.